Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So it's 2026. Crazy, right? And we're looking at a debate that I think a lot of you are having right now. You're standing there, wallet in hand, wondering, do I grab the iPhone 15 for a bargain or do I shell out a bit more for the iPhone 16? Or maybe you're already holding a 15 and wondering if the grass is greener on the 16 side. In this video, we are gonna settle this. I've got my trusty blue iPhone 15 here, which has been with me for over a year, and the pink iPhone 16, which I've been having for about 8 months. We're gonna cover everything: the design, that controversial 60Hz display in 2026, performance, battery life, and of course whether that Apple Intelligence hype is actually worth your money. And honestly, my answer might surprise you. Because, spoiler alert, one of these is the value king of 2026, and the other, well, it's in a bit of a weird spot. Let's get into it. So before we dive deep into the specs, let's just look at where we are. The iPhone 17 lineup just dropped a few months ago, and wow, talk about a leap, right? I mean, the base iPhone 17 finally got the 120Hz ProMotion display, thinner bezels, that new 18 megapixel center stage selfie camera. It's a beast. But that release puts these two, the 15 and 16, in a really interesting position. When the 16 came out back in late 2024, it was good. It brought the action button and that camera control thingy to the non-pro models. But now in 2026, does it hold up against the 17? Or is the 15 actually the smarter buy? Let's break it down. Starting with design. This blue iPhone 15, I gotta say, even in 2026, it feels modern. This was the year Apple finally ditched that glossy back for this frosted matte finish. It feels so much better, no fingerprints, just smooth. And the edges are more rounded compared to the sharp bricks we used to have. It's genuinely comfy to hold. Then you have the iPhone 16 in pink. Visually, they're cousins. The 16 has the vertical camera layout versus the diagonal one on the 15, which looks a bit cleaner, I guess. But in the hand, they feel almost identical. Now let's talk about the display. Both of these screens are beautiful OLED panels. They're sharp, the colors pop, and we've got the dynamic island on both, which keeps them looking current. But, and it's a big but, they are both stuck at 60 Hz. Look, in 2026, 60 Hz it's practically ancient tech. Every other phone, including the new base iPhone 17, is rocking 120 Hz. If you've used a Pro phone, going back to this feels a bit jarring, but I'll be honest, if you're coming from an older iPhone or you just don't care about refresh rates, these displays are still totally fine. They're fluid enough for scrolling and watching videos. But yeah, just know that by today's standards, it is technically old tech. Also, I have to mention the software. Both of these are running the new iOS 26 that dropped a few months ago. Have you guys seen this liquid glass design language? It's not just hype, it's a game changer. The animations, the depth, it makes iOS 18 feel like it's from the Stone Age. It looks stunning on both phones, but I did notice when I first updated, my 15 got a little warm, probably just re-indexing files, but it smoothed out after a day or so. Alright, let's talk power. I geeked out a bit and ran some benchmarks for you guys. On the iPhone 15, running the A16 Bionic, I got a single-core score of 2,626 and multi-core of 6,538. For the GPU Metal score, it hit 22,729. On the iPhone 16, with the A18 chip, we're looking at 3,154 single-core and 7,875 multi-core. GPU is up to 28,043, but numbers are just numbers, right? What's it like to actually use them? Honestly, day to day, you won't feel a massive difference. Apps open quick on both. Swiping is smooth, but here is the secret sauce. RAM. The iPhone 15 has 6GB of RAM. It's decent, but if you're a heavy multitasker, you might notice apps reloading in the background occasionally. The iPhone 16 has 8GB of RAM. And let me tell you, that extra 2GB makes a difference in 2026. Apps stay open longer, and the whole system just feels a bit more breathable, if that makes sense. Gaming-wise, I've been playing Assassin's Creed Mirage on the 16, and it handles it like a champ, though it does get warm after a while. The 15 plays everything too, except AAA titles that only support 15 Pro or base models from 16. So yeah, for those AAA titles, the 16's A18 chip definitely has more headroom. Battery life. This is what you actually care about. My iPhone 15 is sitting at 99% battery health with 215 cycles. I've used it mostly as a backup and for beta testing, so it's had a pretty chill life. In my experience, it's a solid one-day phone. Social media, emails, a bit of YouTube, you'll make it to bedtime, but you might be in the red zone. My iPhone 16, which is at 100% health with 117 cycles, definitely feels stronger. Apple did some magic with the thermal design on this thing, and with the new adaptive power feature in iOS 26, I'm noticing it holds on to percentages way better. If you're a heavy user, the 16 gives you that little extra peace of mind. Okay, cameras. Both of these rock a 48 megapixels main sensor, and honestly, for point and shoot, they are fantastic. Clean, sharp, fast shutter speeds. You're not going to be disappointed with either. But here's where the 16 pulls ahead. Macro mode. Because the iPhone 16 has autofocus on the ultra-wide lens, you can get those crazy close-up shots of flowers or textures. The 15 just can't do that. Also, the photographic styles on the 16 are the newer generation, meaning you can reverse them after you take the shot. On the 15, they're kind of baked in, but I gotta keep it real with you guys. The iPhone 17, the one that just came out, has a 48 megapixels ultra-wide and that new 18 megapixel selfie camera. The 16 is stuck with the older 12 megapixels ultra-wide and 12 megapixel selfie. So while the 16 is better than the 15, it's not miles ahead like the 17 is. Okay, the big buzzword, Apple Intelligence. The iPhone 16 supports it. The iPhone 15 doesn't. Is this a deal breaker? Honestly, for me, no. Look, Apple Intelligence is cool, but even now in 2026, it still feels a bit beta. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it hallucinates. On my iPhone 15, I just use Gemini or ChatGPT apps, and they are more than powerful enough for summarizing emails or writing text. So don't let FOMO force you into the 16 if you're just gonna use ChatGPT anyway. Before we wrap up, you need to know the gotchas. First, the ports. Both have USB-C, which is awesome for convenience. But, and this is annoying, they are both USB 2.0 speeds. So if you're transferring huge 4K videos via cable, it's gonna be slow. Like, just use AirDrop. Second, if you're buying a used iPhone 15 now, watch out for battery health. Mine is great because it sat on a desk, but a daily driver from 2023 might be beat up. And lastly, that 60Hz display. I know I said it's fine, but with the iPhone 17 now having 120 Hz, buying a 60 Hz phone in 2026 feels a bit like buying a car without power windows. It works, but come on. So the verdict, which one is the value king in 2026? For me, it's the iPhone 15. It has the modern design, the dynamic island, USB-C, and a 48 megapixels camera. It does 90% of what the 16 does for way less money. If you can find one with good battery health, it is the best bang for your buck iPhone right now. The iPhone 16, it's a great phone. Don't get me wrong, it's faster, runs cooler, and has those extra buttons. But with the iPhone 17 offering such a massive upgrade, double the storage, 120 Hz screen, better cameras for just a bit more cash, the 16 is in a weird spot. If you have the budget for a 16, I'd say just save a tiny bit more and get the 17. But if you want to save money, get the 15. It's still a champ. Anyway, that's just my take. Let me know in the comments, are you Team Budget King 15 or Team Future Proof 17? Thanks for watching and catch you in the next one.